Alright, so the two different types of coffees we'll be serving is Sumatra and the West Coast Breakfast Blend. What you need to do is put the filter on top of the machine. Make sure that we hit the tare button, that way it takes the filter into accommodation when it goes to 0. If not, it's going to weigh out the filter. We also want to make sure we're weighing it in grams and not ounces. And that you can change with the mode button. Directly on the coffee grinder tells you exactly how many grams of coffee we need for a full pot and a half pot. 64 for a half pot, 105 for a full pot. So, take your coffee beans, weigh out 105 grams because we'll be making a full pot. All right. And we want to try to be as accurate as possible. Try to hit 105. Just like that. We open up the top. Dump the coffee beans inside the machine from the top. There's a little cup that's typically on the machine there. Keep in mind I'm working with one hand, so I'm struggling a little bit in this video. There's a little lever there that you can hook the filter on, and then it sits inside of that pot. Again, I'm working with one hand. Typically I would hold it, and then we just press the on button. It's a little loud, but it just simply starts grinding all the beans that you put in there. Again, I would be holding it right now if I wasn't holding my phone, because that happens. It drops. And once that drops, we can lose some beans, and then our measurements aren't accurate anymore. And you'll see that in about 15 seconds when I go to check my work and put it back on a scale. This is a little cleaning lever there that if you press up and down, it cleans out the remaining of the coffee beans that are in the machine. So as you can see, I double check my work, make sure it hits 105, and it doesn't because it slipped and I lost some coffee beans. So that should not happen, because we'd be holding it with our hands to make sure it doesn't slip. And that is pretty much it for the grinding process. Alright, so once we have the coffee grounded, we're going to take it to the front, put it inside the holder that is typically inside the coffee machine. Make sure that the filter is around the rim nicely. We want to make sure that it doesn't fold in, because what happens is the coffee beans will drip into the coffee pot. So just make sure it's up against the rim real well. Fold it if you need to. Put it back in place as so. Make sure we grab the right pot, which, as you can see, I'm grabbing the wrong one, and then I realize it's the wrong one, so I say oops, and then I grab the correct one. It goes directly, you push it up against the machine, and then it's simple. Then you press the touch screen, and it asks if you want to brew a full pot or a half pot. I'm not going to do it here because we already have one brewed, but if we were to do it, you simply press the button for about 3 seconds and it starts to brew. It also shows you the time that it needs to brew, which is typically about 6 minutes. And do not pull out the filter there, because what that will do is interrupt the process and will stop the process. So just make sure you leave that in. If you want to check to see how long it needs until it's brewed, it will show you directly on the touch screen. There's actually a countdown.
It's a pretty simple process.
So it's a pretty simple process.
These last 4 hours.
These
and
last
then we have to dispose of them, so there will be a chart.
We have to dispose of them and make
jot
fresh
down
pots.
when
And we'll have
the
a chart
pots were made. And once they hit the 4 hour mark, we will dispose of them and make a new pot. Since we're just starting out now, we're making half pots.
Just because we're starting right now, we're
just going to see how it goes from there.